So, can you be a Christian and a Gothic person at the same time? Of course you can. This is America. You could be wherever you want to be. Um, that seems to be the most debatable question pertaining to subcultures. That can you be a goth and be Christian? And yeah, you can, because being a Christian is a belief system, and being Gothic is just an aesthetic. It's also a belief system as well, but it's more so, more or less, an aesthetic, pertaining more to like a music subculture and a fashion subculture. That being said, there seems to be a lot of people that have doubts, mainly Christian people, that people who are of the Goth persuasion cannot be, a Goth and be a Christian at the same time, because I think misleadingly people think that Gothic people not only wear black on the outside, but they have blackness within them, meaning that their hearts are black, you know. And that's not true. I mean, people are people. You have darkness in the goth scene, like real evil darkness, but you also have light, and you have real darkness in the normal so-called world, in the pop culture world, and then you have light. It's 50-50. That's just how the world operates, um but I think it's a very plausible scenario to want to be. It's a plausible scenario to run across someone that could be both, goth and a Christian, because there's a lot of parallels in the story of Jesus and the Gothic subculture. A lot of like just even the whole suffering aspect of Jesus on the cross dying for the salvation of the world, that in itself is a very kind of recurring Gothic theme in the Gothic subculture. It's not so much religious, but it's more so just in being buried because of how we've been treated in society, and being set aside, being buried, but having this inner light within us, which is the basic tenets of the theology of Christianity. So it just, to me, it always made sense that someone could easily fit into both categories, both groups, Goth and Christian, because there's a lot of, parallels with both, with the teachings of Jesus and the lifestyle of Gothic. And like, to be a Christian, you're really called to be an outsider. You're really called to be an outcast. You're really called to be set apart, to be set aside. To me, that sounds very much like a Gothic person, a true Gothic person, not a fashion goth. Because you have fashion goths that just wear the fashion, but they don't really have the philosophy, or they don't really have the mindset. It's more like just an aesthetic for them. And then you have people who have the mindset and have the philosophy, and they just live this life steep in everything that is Gothic. And to me, those people, or they're already on the second step of what it means to be a Christian, to suffer as a Christian, to be an outsider, to be an outcast, to be treated like bad by society, because we are pursuing a greater love. In a lot of instances, that greater love in the goth scene is the individuality of the Gothic person per se, but in Christianity, it's the pursuit of the kingdom of heaven. So it's a pretty amazing thing, and like me, I alternate. Sometimes I'm like really hippie, but I'm always have a Gothic heart, and I've been feeling more Gothic lately because the weather, because it's been raining a lot in the place that I live now, in Colorado where I'm at. And I think I have seasonal depression. I guess I was diagnosed with that. And if you know anything about that, it's a very kind of interesting pathology. But basically, it's like when people change with the seasons and they change with the weather. And so when it's gloomy and dark, I tend to be more Gothic. When it's sunny, I tend to be more hippie. But I always wear dark colors. And sometimes I get in these kicks where I just want to wear makeup. Sometimes I don't wear makeup, it depends. And I really enjoy myself when I go to Gothic clubs and dance. But I'm also a hardcore Christian, not the type that judges people and think people should believe what I believe, or thinking that you're gonna go to hell if you don't believe in Jesus. But I tend to just I have a personal relationship with God, and I see eye to eye on all the teachings that Jesus taught. To me, it makes just perfect sense, and is a like a really easy fit for me because I'm like that anyway. I don't really have to try hard to be a Christian. I just have inner belief system that just guides me on that path continuously. Yeah, I struggle like everyone else struggle, and obviously I'm not perfect and stuff. Um, but I love being a Christian. I love believing in Jesus. I love churches. I love prayer. I love Christian music, actually. There's actually a lot of good goth Christian music floating around and stuff. If you look it up, there's this playlist on YouTube. If you type in Christian goth music playlist, this amazing playlist will pop up and have all these amazing death rock songs and stuff. And these people, Christians and stuff. But so yeah, you could be a Christian and a goth at the same time. You could be a punk and a goth. You could be a hipster and a goth. You could be a preppy and a goth. And that's why I don't understand when people say you can't be both, because if you could be a preppy person and be a Christian, and you could be a black person and be a Christian, or you could be a gay, you could even be a gay person and be a Christian. And I know people. There's a lot of evangelical Christian people that are homophobic or whatever. That's a whole different video blog and stuff. But I believe that it's all about the heart. It's all about love, and if you have love, it doesn't matter what aesthetic you follow, or it just matters of how you love and how you treat people. If you don't judge people, if you kind, if you represent Jesus, to the world, and that's all that really matters.